How's it going, guys? So, with Battlefield 1 right around the corner, and with this extra Battlefield 1 alpha gameplay that I have saved on my hard drive, I want to talk about how Battlefield 1 and Infinite Warfare, how those two games will compare, and and see if, one will do better than the other, because every year that Battlefield and Call of Duty would come out in, the fall time, October, November, right around there. When these games come out, they were always like pitted against one another. Battlefield 4 and Call of Duty Ghosts, they were pitted against each other and see which game was better. And then when Battlefield 3 came out back in 2011 and Modern Warfare 3 came out, I'm just trying to remember the games. When they came out, people were comparing them and so on, right? And now we have the next ones. We have Battlefield 1 and Infinite Warfare. And what's interesting and what's really crazy is how different these games are, and how different and how like each fan base sees these different games and how they are reacting towards it. Because Battlefield 1 is very different than Infinite Warfare, obviously, because Battlefield 1 is this World War I, not fully realistic. They say it's like an alternate history sort of deal. It's not like crazy realism, but at the same time, it's not super crazy steampunk, whatever. It's still somewhat towards World War I, but it's not like full just trench warfare and so on, right? And then you have Infinite Warfare here, which is the complete opposite, pretty much. It's space, and we have these sort of not laser weapons, but different, not bullet firing weapons as well, and like I said, space combat. And it's completely different to what the older Call of Duties had. I mean, Black Ops 3 has, specialists and with like robots and stuff like that, which is, in the future, but it's not fully unrealistic, if you know what I mean. It's not like so far into the future that it's kind of, off. It's still somewhat, we could see it happening, and it's still pretty comparable to what we have nowadays. But Infinite Warfare is completely in the future. We have spaceships, we have, space combat, which is crazy. And what's even crazier is how the fan bases, how the two groups, the Battlefield groups and the Call of Duty groups, how they, saw each game's release, and how they saw each game's, release of information, and when they were announced, pretty much. That's what I mean. When they were announced, how each fan base reacted, because the Battlefield community, everyone wanted a World War I game, everyone wanted something different, because Battlefield 3 was, modern combat, and then Battlefield 4 was basically a continuation of that. It's still, modern, everything is, realistic, it's everything we're used to, and people were like, they wanted something different, and I don't blame them. Let's try something different. When everyone back in the early 2000s, well, before Call of Duty 4 came out, there were so many World War II games, and it kind of got dried up. Everyone was like, there's only so many games you can make. And then here we had the same thing with Battlefield. There were only so many modern shooters that you can make, and it all felt kind of dull. Especially with, like, say, Medal of Honor Warfighter, that came out, everyone was like, wow, this is not really that great. It's very similar to what we already have. It doesn't really change anything. So that's what Battlefield did. They completely changed it. They did something completely different. And that thing is fucking World War I, which is, excuse my language here, but, it's crazy, because World War I, there's not really a huge AAA market for World War I. Not that I know of. I know there's like that Game for Done, and there's probably some other, smaller World War I games, but this is the first World War I Battlefield game, which is crazy. And it's crazy how the fans reacted, because everyone's like, yes, thank you, this is going to be crazy good, right? And on the other side, the Call of Duty fans, and I mean, I'm a Call of Duty fan, I like Call of Duty and I like Battlefield. They're both good games. When they saw the release for Infinite Warfare, I made that video on the leak of Infinite Warfare, how, it's space and, so on. It's like, we're like worried for a second, right? And it is space. And, it is these like spaceships and different types of weapons, and it's crazy different. And the problem is that the Call of Duty fans, they didn't really, we weren't really, too interested in more space combat and more futuristic stuff, because we had Advanced Warfare, and like literally probably half the community liked the boosting and the futuristic stuff, and half the community did not like it. And then Black Ops 3, we had a continuation of that, less boosters but still very futuristic stuff. Everyone wanted like the more on the boots, like boots on the ground sort of combat, they wanted the more Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, sort of games, and we're not getting that. So everyone was pissed off about that. And what I'm trying to get at here is that, we have these two fan bases. One, the Battlefield one, which seems to be, they got what they wanted. They got what they wanted, and in a different type of game, something completely new, something completely fresh. Looking at this gameplay, it still feels like Battlefield, it plays like Battlefield, but everything's so different. You have like this bayonet like bayonet charging and stuff. You have these weapons that, it's a bit like overdone, if you want to say that. Not overdone, but like it's a bit, hyped up a bit, exaggerated with like some of the weapons. Like not every soldier had an SMG and so on, but it still feels very different. It feels very different than the modern combat of just carbines and so on that we had in Battlefield 4. And the fans really like this. I like this. This is a crazy, cool, interesting thing that they're doing here with Battlefield, and I really like this. The vehicles are different, which is crazy. And when you have Infinite Warfare here, everyone wanted boots on the ground. Everyone wanted like, basically everyone wants the old Call of Duty, and Activision gave space and more of what a lot of people, I'm not gonna say all, but like a big portion did not like, and that's why the fans got really mad. And that's why also I think that they're doing the remaster for Call of Duty 4 on like with the special edition of Infinite Warfare. I don't know what it's called, whatever edition of Infinite Warfare, it's not the base one. You pre-order that, you get the Call of Duty 4 remaster, which is pretty interesting. But at the same time, you have the pre-order numbers and the Ripcod hashtag and stuff. You have all this. The pre-order numbers for Infinite Warfare are down. They're not that great, especially compared to, say, other Call of Duty games. Maybe it's Call of Duty, not doing so well. That could be the case. That's a very fair argument you can make. But also, it's just the fans maybe don't want this. You see in the YouTube comments, this is not what we wanted. The Infinite Warfare announcement trailer is massively disliked. Probably just, people jumping on the bandwagon and so on. But at the same time, people don't like this. And what's crazy is, I'm not going to be 100% certain. Because, some people who buy Call of Duty, they buy it like Madden, they buy it like FIFA, they buy it every year because they enjoy it, they just like playing it casually, and that's fine. That's okay. However, people who are, really loving Call of Duty, but, are not happy. Some are not happy. And I feel like some might come over and play Battlefield. And my hypothesis, if you want to say that, my thing is that I don't think Battlefield will, completely destroy Call of Duty, but I think Battlefield might actually sell better, or, just be more well received by more amounts of people than Call of Duty. I think Battlefield 1 might be this season shooter, if that makes sense, I feel like it might be it. We had, Overwatch, that sold really well because that's what did really well at that time. And I feel like Battlefield is going to be doing this with at the, end of the year, Q4, fall, selling of games. Battlefield 1 will be doing better, and it will sell better than Infinite Warfare. It might, like I said again, it might, but I do think that might be the case. And I would love to hear what you guys think, because I've rambled on for so long. It's been a while, but the beta, I just remembered, the beta for Battlefield 1 comes out the 31st, right? Yeah, I think the 31st on Wednesday, which is crazy. So let's see how the beta goes, because the alpha was fun, but let's see how the beta goes, see what they fixed, and see if Battlefield 1 might be the game that, does really well this fall. And I don't want, this may seem like I'm trashing COD. It's not. I think Battlefield 1 is better. It is better that people will want to play it more, and it's basically what the community wants. Battlefield, with their millions of things of they had the premium, and some factions they're going to be coming DLC. Big mess there. I don't agree with that, but I think this is what people want, and it's going to do well because of that. It's the game that people want, and it's going to do well. That's really it. That's my thoughts on that, guys. So let me know in the comments down below what you think about that, what you think about Battlefield 1 and Infinite Warfare, which game you think is going to be better, so on and so forth. Let me know, That's it, really it. Just leave it down in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.